Shalom Israel. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakdash, double honors the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings, to hope like the Israel and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Ancient Hebrew. Ba'ashem means the name. Yahushua is the name of the begotten Son. Bible lesson, and today we're going to go into the teeth of the wild beasts and how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua uses these animals as a form of judgment. Everybody's seen these two quick videos I got just to go into these different animal attacks that are happening. And also especially goes to show that these animals do not like you heathens, man. Especially you Edomites. Which you're about to see right here. So we'll just make a fun lesson. I'll keep it short. So hit the quick points and you'll get onto the scriptures. And learn a bit of fun once again. Let's jump into it. Hey, Hebrews 10:31 is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua could have tore this dude up right here, man. You know, which you can see and look up in many different articles of, bear attacks, which I believe is another bear attack that took place. I believe another brother reported on, going into it, which would kind of, spread me on to, jump to his lesson, because I remember seeing this video. But look at this one other video, and then we'll jump to scriptures, keep it short. Now, like I said, this is from a while back, but, this goes to show that, hey, let's play real quick. Tempting the Lord, which you can see happening on many occasions, with people sticking their arms, into crocodiles' mouths, and then they act all surprised when that crocodile comes, clamping down to their arm, messing with lions behind the cages, You can see these in many different examples, man. And how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua uses these animals as a form of judgment. Which I believe I made a lesson a while back, going to this one elephant trampling that happened. How they basically a herd of elephants trampled over this one woman, and they're basically holding, a burial, to bury her. And they had the elephants come back and just tear up the whole little, area, man. But let's finish playing this and we'll get back into the scriptures. Now imagine that cage when it's there. And these things right here are light, man. You can look at many articles, things in the news of all these different animal attacks and, and things that take place, sharks and as well as many others, man. Like I mentioned, bear attacks that happen and are taking place, because you can see many videos also of these, bears just putting all the weight onto a door and just, taking it down, But let's jump to the scripture. Actually, I'm going to look up real quick, see, bear attack. Yep. Hey, this is what I was speaking on. One of the brothers was going into is that two college wrestlers ambushed in gruesome grizzly bear attack while hunting. Read a little bit into this. So the two Wyoming college wrestlers have been seriously injured when they were ambushed in a gruesome attack by a grizzly bear while hunting over the weekend. Spirits created for vengeance. The incident occurred on Saturday in Cody, Wyoming, when the two men encountered the bear at close range while they were in heavy cover as they were antler hunting west of the Bobcat Houlihan Trailhead on the Shoshone National Forest. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department said in press release detailing the incident. And you can also see, look up other videos of bear attacks. Them just charging at people, and all that there is left really is just, audio of them basically being eaten, man. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua can tear you up, man. That's why, once again, as I mentioned earlier, Hebrews 10:31 is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. You gotta fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. But as one of the men said, he jumped on the grizzly to try to get him off his friend, Brady Lowry. I grabbed and yanked on him hard by ear. Kendall Cummings told Cowboy State Daily in harrowing account of the gory attack. So I could hear when his teeth would hit my skull. I could feel when he'd bite down on my bones and they'd kind of crunch. Now imagine that pain, man. Your own bones just, crushing under that pressure, man. The two men were somehow able to break free from the attack and called 911, which elicited an immediate response from both Park County Search and Rescue and personnel from the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. So jump to the scriptures, man. It's Ecclesiastes or book of Sirach 39:28-31. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Which I usually kind of bring up this one video where you have this shark basically, pretty much killing itself trying to attack this person in a cage, man. But says every spirit that crave vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, in time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Verse 29 says, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So the son uses of Yahweh Bashim Shai. These are judgments from the Lord, man. Especially putting the spirits on these animals to go and attack these people, Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts, which is the main point of this lesson. Teeth of wild beasts, and scorpions, serpents, and sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So I see all these different animal attacks happening, especially with dogs, man. You can see many videos, and especially that one news article going to that one dog sitter. That girl basically mauled by, I believe it was like 2 dogs, if I'm correct. And she had to get surgery to basically, restructure her whole face, man. One more time. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they should be ready upon earth when need is, and when there is time is come, they should not transgress his word. So, hey, they're going to fulfill what the Lord sent them out to do. As you're also going to have in these last days, also newly created beasts coming on and attacking people, man. It's in these last days. Wisdom Psalm 11:18. So, or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, bringing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. So you have new creatures coming out, the things that you thought would be, in sci-fi type movies only, coming out in these last days, These so-called, cryptids, which is like the Loch Ness Monster, so-called Bigfoot, But the unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created, bringing out fiery, newly created, bringing out either a fiery vapor or a filthy sense of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. As for how Bashim is going to bring terrible judgment upon this place, man. As scripts also go into how we're heading some times that have never been seen before in history, man. Going to Matthew 24 and I believe 21st verse. Let's actually get that real quick, since I mentioned it. Just fly through these. But it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. So showing you how bad the times are going to be. Like I said, these newly created beasts coming out, especially, and the Lord also using them to defend his elect in these last days, because as the scriptures also go into, and the beasts of this field shall be at peace with thee. So let me have it where a bear, will like protect you, new creatures coming out and start attacking people, Job 5:23 is for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. See how much Messiah is going to defend his men. But let's continue on track, remain on the main point. Deuteronomy 32 and 39 said, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of mine hand. So showing you this judgment of Yahweh by Shemel Shai. This is from the Lord. Because you have people saying, oh, why didn't the Lord stop that? Why Why didn't the Lord intervene? Because that was all Yahweh Shai for that to happen, man. You know? You can see in many examples. I'm just going to, the animals on this, man. You know? But also mentioned in the book of Sirach, fire and hail, all these different storms that you see, these hurricanes that came about recently. But these are the last three scriptures, and we'll close it out. Psalm 37 and 28 says, "For Yahweh Shai loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints." As I mentioned earlier, the Lord can protect and defend his men in these last days. This is for Yahweh Shai loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. Because also, there's in the scripture going to how the animals shall change their place. Just came to mind. Because you can see, many videos of certain animals are not, usually out there in the midst of those streets, or out their natural habitat. We're here, 2 Ezra 5 and 8. There should be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. The main point going to these wild beasts, changing their places, man. You have lions, just tigers. I believe it was this one video that came out recently. This article, a random tiger just, roaming the neighborhood, man. Where did I leave off at? I think we got Psalm 66 and 5. And look at the last verse. It says, "Come and see the works of the Most High. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men." As we mentioned earlier, Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hand of the living power, living God. You don't want to tempt Yahweh Shai, man. Hey, you gotta fear the Lord once again. The Lord can tear you up. Read this one more time, just push the point across. "Come and see the works of the Most High. He is terrible and is doing toward the children of men." All right, let's close out with this book of Amos 3 and 6. And the Lord's edifying. Amos 3 and 6. "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall it be evil in a city, and Yahweh Shai had not done it?" So once again, just push the point, just to bring it home. All these different things, these judgments are from Yahweh Shai. These animals, these different storms, but mainly touching on these animals in the lesson. But Lord had the main points, and you're edified. Seeing all these different bears attacks, as well as different dogs. You can literally look in the news, man, of all these different animal attacks that are happening. But once again, the main point is just going to how Yahweh Shai use these animals, the teeth of the wild beasts, as forms of judgment, man. So it's a fearful thing falling in the hands of the living God. So fear Yahweh Shai and seek the Lord while we're still within this grace period, man. Or there's still time to, repent, man. So pretty much the main point. I don't drag this out. I do want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash, that wants the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching us truth. Peace and blessings to hope like Israel, and shalom. See you next one.